Joining us today are Kenneth Chestek and Shelby Shadwell. They are working on a group called Wyoming Promise. They're the chair and the treasurer of that group. And they've got a unique idea that I enjoy very much. So first of all, welcome guys, appreciate it.
Thanks for having us on.
Thank you, Cenk.
Yep, no problem. So Ken, let me start with you. What is Wyoming Promise and what's the project that you guys are working on?
The Wyoming Promise is a nonpartisan grassroots effort, citizens who are trying to get on the ballot a measure that will call for the 28th Amendment. In other words, the amendment to overturn Citizens United. And we think that corporations are not full, should have the same civil rights as people do. Money is not speech, which are the two metaphors that underlie the Citizens United case. And the only way to overturn Citizens United is to amend the United States Constitution, 20th Amendment, to declare that corporations are not people, money is not speech. That will open the door and make it possible for Congress or state legislatures to reenact meaningful campaign finance, get money out of politics.
So guys, I love the idea of going to the ballot because both Democratic and Republican voters are against corruption. So when they went to a ballot measure in South Dakota, for example, it passed overwhelmingly, not on the same exact issue, but on a similar anti-corruption, getting money out of politics issue. Of course, then the legislature tried to overturn it. Now it's going back to a ballot there, and that was great work by another group, Represent Us. Now, in your case, does it work that way, that if the ballot initiative passes, that it counts as a state that is calling for a convention to get an amendment?
Well, we have, our ballot measure does two things. First of all, it asks Congress to propose this amendment for the states to ratify. 19 states have done that. We would be the 20th state to do that. There's no real controversy about whether we have the ability to do that. We also, our measure says, if Congress doesn't propose this amendment within 6 months after our measure has been adopted by the voters, then it converts to a call for a convention of states to write the amendment proposal. Now, there is some legal question about whether or not that can be done by ballot initiative or whether the legislature has to do that, the state legislature. We think there's a good, solid legal argument that the citizens vote would be the equivalent of the state legislature acting, and then we would be the 6th state to call for an Article 5 convention.
So even if they said, hey, no, it doesn't count, if the people of Wyoming, a deeply red state, spoke up and said, yeah, we don't care, we hate the corruption, no matter what party it comes from, they would still resonate, and it would still be enormously important, and it would certainly send a message to the legislature that they better represent the people of Wyoming. So I love the effort that you guys are putting together. Now, Shelby, I got other reasons to like you. You're a member of the TYT network.
That's right, lifetime member during the studio campaign. I think my name's on the wall in the studio there.
Oh,
somewhere.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, I walk by that donor wall every single day. So Shelby, next time I walk by it, I'll make sure to find your name on the wall.
Thanks, Cenk.
Yeah, and the people who made this studio happen, their names are literally on the wall of the studio. So Shelby's among them. Thank you, Shelby. And you were also helped with Wolfpack. You're working on this campaign. So how many signatures do you guys need to get on the ballot, Shelby? And how many do you have so far?
So we need about 38,000 officially. We're aiming much higher than that, of course, because we're aiming for about 50, because some of those signatures could be invalidated for various reasons. They're not actually registered voters, et cetera. And I think we're at about 13 to 15,000. We keep very careful track of the signatures. All the signatures from the petitions are basically relayed to our data wranglers that enter the data and check it via VAN, Voter Action Network, which we pay a subscription for to check those voters and make sure we have the right signatures. So we're not there yet. And we've got a long way to go still until November 15th when we need all of these signatures. But coming from the three of us to start with, and now we have about 600 people on our email list, 600 people on Facebook, close to 250 circulators. we've blown up in a state, and it really shows that we are a cross-partisan effort. And I think we're well on our way for this final push over the summer and the fall to see if we can do this. One thing I'd like to say is going back to the ballot initiative convention question. We're a multi-pronged approach. We want to get this on the ballot. We want to get it passed via ballot. But the more that we can show our legislators and the state level that this is supported, the more leverage we have to go and also talk to them and do it both ways. If we do it by ballot, we're going to go back to the legislature too and do it via legislature if we have to.
All right, excellent. I love that. I can't wait for Wolfpack to work with you guys on that. So I know that 93% of Americans believe that their representatives don't represent them, they represent their voters. But how about in Wyoming? Again, Wyoming is obviously a very, very red state. What's the percentage in Wyoming?
Well, we don't have a good handle on that, no polling, but just anecdotally, when we have our petitions out on the street, we're talking to people, I guess 8 out of 10 people will sign it right away. There's no real issue. They might not have heard of Citizens United per se, but if we tell them what we're doing, they say, where can I sign? There's really no question at all that they want to sign. So we have 2 out of 10 maybe that say, let me think about it, and hem and haw, I need to do more research, but 8 out of 10 probably will jump right on.
Yeah, if you ask folks, start a conversation and say, hey, in DC, who do those folks represent? The voters, you, or their donors? I mean, you get a pretty quick answer and a pretty quick eagerness to sign.
Yeah. I mean, it's so obvious. I mean, we're having this insane conversation only because the people in power keep saying, no, the emperor has clothes. No, they're giving billions of dollars in donations and they expect nothing in return. And the people who are receiving millions of dollars at a time, they don't do them any favors. And they just keep getting that millions of dollars anyway. It's preposterous. No actual human being believes that. Only people on TV believe that, and people in power in Washington. I mean, in your case, in Wyoming, your Senator John Barrasso, 98% of his funding comes from outside of Wyoming. He represents.
That's right. And it's been actually a pretty easy conversation with voters here. I know we're in a very red state. We have far more Republican signers for the position than Democratic signers. So again, if we're able to do this here, I mean, that blows things up. It shows that this is, if we can do it here, it's the most cross-partisan issue in the country.
Yeah, absolutely. Ken, I'm going to see you at the National Citizen Leadership Conference this weekend, right? I believe we're on a panel together.
Yeah, you and I are on a panel together.
Yeah, we're the pro-convention side.
We're the pro-convention side. I'm looking forward to, and Common Cause will be on the panel too, to take the anti-side. It's going to be a fun conversation.
It ought to be interesting.
And I know Wolfpack has encountered this in other states, but some more of the actual opposition does come from the and it concerns the Article 5 portion of this. So I think getting the word out and talking about that issue, that half of our amendments started as Article 5 calls, and is really important to get information out there about that. And so I think this conference coming up will be great.
Common Cause just used their lobbyists against us again today in Massachusetts. Busy fighting to make sure that money stays in politics. So frustrating. Okay, but you guys are doing God's work and the American people's work. So Ken and Shelby, thank you so much. Love what Wyoming Promise is up to. Everybody go to wyomingpromise.org if you want to help out. Door knocking in Wyoming's got to be challenging. Probably take you a couple hours to get the 2 doors, but still, I'm kidding around.
Well, Wolfpack, if we could get some volunteers from the Wolfpack chapter from Montana, Colorado, and North Dakota, and Idaho, some of the border states, and the ones we have here in Wyoming, of course, we're going to need more door knockers coming up this summer. So maybe we can bring some people in from out of state. We don't need to be a Wyoming resident to circulate petitions.
That's right, but at the end of the day, as you guys know, the Wyoming residents seem to overwhelmingly support it. All right, wyomingpromise.org. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it.